There are now more than 700 real ale brewers in the UK, the highest since the war and 4 times more than in 1971. We will try to find out why ale is so popular in the UK. We have spoken to 2 different breweries and a pub manager. With these 3 different insights, we hope to answer the question, what is the secret and charm behind real ale?
My name's Richard Robinson. I'm the owner of Itchen Valley Brewery, and we've been going for nearly 20 years. I've been around for 6 years in this business and hope to be around for a good bit longer.
My name is Phil Robbins. I set up and own Long Dog Brewery.
Alright, the process of making ale starts with malted barley mainly. We take that and put it into a mash tun and mix it with hot liquor, and we break down that starch into simple sugars which then get boiled in the copper, and in the copper they get reduced. That sugary liquid gets reduced, more concentrated, more stable and more simple, so that the yeast can then eat those sugars and turn it into alcohol.
It needs to mature a bit, but generally that's how it works. And it takes approximately, from brew day to drinking, it can be as short as 2 weeks.
In the UK, 20 million pints are consumed every day. This is almost 1 in every 3 people. There are 2,500 real ales in the UK and 3,000 pubs stocking them.
This brewery, Itchen Valley Brewery, has been open since 1997. It was started by a couple of lads at a christening who were the godfathers. They decided together that a brewery was a good idea, and they made a beer called Godfathers, which won at the, actually I'm exaggerating a bit, it came 3rd in the overall British beer competition at Earls Court.
So I set the brewery up in 2011, but obviously with the help of my wife, Lisa, in the background. And the first brew was the 27th of July 2011. And the first award was about the 20th of August, I believe.
There are about 10 people that work here at the brewery.
There's me, and there's my wife, Lisa.
There are 4 people who work at farmers markets, and there are a couple of people who deliver beer. There are 2 brewers. There's myself, there's a couple of salespeople. If that's 10, then I'm about right.
I do the brewing. Lisa does all the sales. We share the deliveries. We share the cleaning, of which there is a lot. Because it is only the 2 of us, we have to make sure that we can both do as much of it as possible.
Because I order from big companies as well as smaller ones, further afield is always quite good, but it's always nice to have a few local ones on board to show you support.
So I would say over the course of the year, to the pub trade, the best seller is probably the Bunny Chaser, which is a 3.6% session bitter. And again, I think this is probably because it's only 3.6%, people can drink it. Drink a few of them. And the more they drink, the more I have to make, which is good.
Our biggest selling beer is QED, or Quality English Draft. Yeah, we sell. A lot of people have it as their house ales. It's just a good, solid, easily drinkable, good beer, I think.
Once people have tried real ale, they stick with it. It has a conversion rate of 40%. There are currently 8.6 million regular drinkers of real ale in the country.
What makes our brewery special? I think we just got some very good brewers who really care about beer, and we're relatively old for brewers these days. They're popping up all over the place. They've doubled. I think there were 600 breweries when we started, and now there are 1,400 breweries. So I feel like we're a kind of steady ship in a fast-changing market.
If you're looking for a unique selling point, that's a very difficult thing. I brew beer. I brew good quality beer. I brew beer that I think people would like to drink. What's different about this brewery is that we haven't gone headlong into using weird and wonderful, highly hopped recipes. We still brew fairly traditional beers.
The better beers tend to be the ones I've got a little bit more love, a little bit more care from them, and they're from the smaller brands.
The main competition is just with the sheer number of breweries, there isn't one brewery that I think, oh, you bastards, why are you taking all our business? It just doesn't happen, you don't compete. It's more a lot of breweries taking little bits and pieces. So we've seen over the last year, we've kind of steadied off. We've not grown much over the last year. I just think it's to do with 15 new breweries within 30 miles, so it's a bit of a problem. But, I mean, we're holding our own.
There are 2,500 real ales in the UK and 3,000 pubs stocking them.
There are a lot of breweries around today. I think when I initially wrote the business plan, there was something in the region of 700 breweries in the country. There's at least double that now. But ultimately it is a business and it has to make money. So there has to be an element of competition between the breweries.
We have nearly 1,000 people on our list of people to supply.
We supply approximately 20 to 25 outlets a week.
We supply a lot of the big ones, like Wetherspoons and Mitchells & Butler and Green King and Fuller's.
Every week I change my suppliers. I go from having 2 or 3 different ones to maybe 15, 16 different suppliers.
Ale is a growing market. Lots of breweries our size and much smaller and slightly larger are taking a big share of the market away from some of the larger breweries.
There's a lot of young people actually drinking real ale, which back in my day it really didn't happen that much.
In 5 years, well, my business plan was that and my realism was like that, and the reality is a much steadier, slower growth.
5 years' time, I'd like to have a bit of time off and have a bit more money. We don't want to sell out to cause like Sharps. Sharps did. That said, if somebody came knocking on my door with a big fat cheque, that's a different matter.
It's a very competitive industry, and it's one that I'm never going to be rich from, that's for sure.